Hello YouTube, this is Asatsu5 and I thought I'd make a video series discussing different regional knives from different regions, different countries. And I originally tried to film this all in one big video and it got very cluttered and very long and rambly. So I decided to make a video for each region that I'm going to talk about. And right now we're going to talk about Asia, more specifically the Philippines and Japan. I think it's pretty obvious that the Filipino handmade balisong is from the Philippines. It didn't originate in the Philippines. It actually was invented, I think, in France, is the earliest one that I know of. And I think it traveled from France to Spain, and then from Spain to the Philippines. Although Spain is very famous for a completely different tactical knife, and I'll discuss that when I move to Europe, or when I move to the European blades. But yeah, we got the Filipino handmade. I think it's important to mention, I've already reviewed Filipino handmade balisongs, and this is just my experience with the ones that I bought. There was a very good chance that I can find a better craftsman to make a better knife. But with the Filipino handmade knives that I bought, they tend to be subpar flippers. They tend to be subpar knives. They're not the strongest knives, they're not the sharpest knives, they're not the smoothest knives. But if you're a balisong guy, they're cool to have because they're a completely different feel than the Benchmades and Microtex and stuff. It's a completely different knife. It has a warmer feel. You know, it's made out of wood or stag. It's not metal, and they come in a lot of crazy blade shapes, but. If you're a balisong guy, I think you owe it to yourself to have at least one Filipino handmade. And if you don't like flipping it, it's good just to display. You can also EDC it, but these from balisong.com or village or cottage industry. Each family has a job. One family makes the blades, one family makes the handles, one family assembles the knife. So it's a group effort. I think that's pretty cool. I love handcrafted stuff. Speaking of handcrafted stuff, let's move over to Japan, to the Hikonagami knives. These are the peasant knife of Japan. I call them peasant knives or friction fetters. And basically what happened was during the 1800s, the demand for Japanese swords went way down. Samurai were not walking around with swords anymore. And, you know, the swordsmiths were really desperate to find something they can make to keep themselves in business making money. You had Japanese swordsmiths that started making kitchen cutlery, which there's a very vast array of kitchen cutlery. They pretty much have a kitchen knife for every specific use you can think of one. They have a fish knife, they have a tuna knife, they have a vegetable knife. They have a knife for every job, and not just a kitchen knife that does it all. You know, not like 5 different knives that can do it all. There's hundreds of kitchen knives, each with a specific purpose. But some of the Japanese swordsmiths started making these peasant knives, and if I remember correctly, there's like one family that has the right to make a Hikonagami and call it a Hikonagami. And I haven't reviewed these yet, but this one you can open and shut with your wrist. It's still a friction fetter, and this was the bigger one. I ended up getting 2 of them on accident because I thought that one wasn't what I wanted, and then so I ordered another one that turned out they both had the same steel. It was just really the big difference was the handle and the length. This is a more fancy one, has this wattled look to it, but these are both blue paper steel knives, and they're both laminated. I don't know if you can tell, right there you have the hard steel center, and then it's cladded or laminated with a softer steel. And for a laminated blade, you're not going to find a laminated blade that's cheaper than a Hikonagami. And with Hikonagamis, you can spend as much as you want to, anywhere from like $30 to $40 all the way up to $85, $90. And it depends if you're getting the SK5 laminated steel, the blue paper steel, the white paper steel laminates, and you know, there's even some custom knife makers that are making a knife similar to this, but they can't call it a Hikonogami. And they're probably better than the Hikonagamis. The Hikonagamis are, depending on what model you get, are not the best made. They're peasant knives. They're the knife of the everyday person. So we got the Filipino kind of knife that they're famous for. We got the Japanese knives that Japan is famous for. And this one, which is kind of loose, I tried to force a patina on it. Didn't work out that well. I probably didn't leave it in the vinegar long enough. But a lot of times these will have the signature of the person making them on the blade. And I can't read Japanese, but I'm assuming that's the signature of the guy who made it. And then again, right here we have some other writing. But yeah, we got two very iconic Japanese knives. I don't have a traditional tanto, but I'm not really focusing so much on weapons, although that is an aspect of it. But I'm not. This is not a video about the tactical knives of all over the world. This is a video on the knives of all over the world. So that's it for Asia. And I'm going to go ahead and end this video, and we'll continue on the next region.